Okay.
Yes, this is Vanessa Pope, and we're going to be talking about some medical issues that her children have. Her oldest is Donnie, and he's 17. And can you tell us a little bit about Donnie?
Donnie is a very active, thrill-seeking child he's had a rough life, I guess. He was diagnosed with depression, seasonal depression, oppositional defiance disorder, mood disorder, and ADHD. A few years back, we had thought that he had some diagnosis prior to actually getting them, but we couldn't get a doctor to give us anything. He had been hospitalized 3 times, and we had no diagnosis whatsoever. They would just keep him for a little while, release him on medication, and I guess hope for the best. And we were kind of we just had to learn as we went without having any type of knowledge of what was going on with him.
Okay. So, do you think he's doing any better now?
Oh yes. Since his last bout of depression and all, he's doing much better. He's on the road to graduating high school this year, and he's looking forward to that and working hard for it.
So you're saying though he has never actually really been diagnosed. It's just been a
He
thing
got
after
he
thing.
got the diagnosis after his 3rd hospitalization. We found he had a charge, a family violence charge, and the DA offered him a program which I highly recommend to anyone that is given the option. It's the CHINS program.
Now, can you spell that?
CHINS. It is located in the One Door Polk, and the lady there was Miss Angela Moore. She was so helpful and resourceful. She got us in with his current therapist. She got us in with a doctor in Atlanta to be tested and evaluated for us to receive all of them diagnoses.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. Now you have I think it's a son named
Yes.
Ray.
Yes,
at
ma'am.
15. Can you tell a little bit about him?
Ray is my laid-back, chilled child. We believe some of his laziness, I call it, is from his nerve and muscle disorder. The name of it is Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, and for short, they just call it CMT. It basically deteriorates the nerves and muscles in your body. It can cause difficulties with walking. It will draw up your muscles and stuff, like in your fingers. So we think some of the pain associated with that is why he's so laid back. He don't get out and do much, and we just kind of
Scared he might be setting off the pain.
Yes, and scared of hurting or hurting himself, because for people with the CMT, once you hurt something in your body, our recovery time is longer than normal. So my broke bone and your broke bone, I will heal a lot more time to heal than people without it.
Okay. Now, this is kind of like off the chart though. Does your family have any American Indian blood in the line?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Somewhere down, I'm not sure what all we have. I remember my mother always telling me that we had, I don't remember, I think Cherokee or Apache or something along those lines. But I don't know how much of it. I don't know how far down it goes.
I didn't know, but this sounds like something that a friend of ours went through.
Really?
And he did have, I think it was Cherokee, part Cherokee. But anything else we want to say?
With the CMT, it is genetic, so it does go through the family. We have the, oh, I'm probably wrong in this, but I want to say my sister told me we have the XY type, where basically the females give it to their, or can give it to their male offspring, and then the males pass it to the female offspring. So, like my dad's mother had it. The boys got, I don't believe all my uncles have it, but I know that, you know, my aunts don't. And then my dad give it to me and my sister. None of my brothers are affected by it. And then my sister's son, he has the disorder. Ray has the disorder. We're not sure about Donnie. We believe he may have it, but at this point, he's not showing enough of the signs and symptoms for them to do the genetic testing. So it could be that he ends up tested for it and coming positive with it later in life.
What I was talking about may not even have anything to do, you know, with his illness.
Right.
But our friend was told that they keep a good check on him because his dad passed away with it, okay?
Oh, wow.
But they thought that he might have it, and he was he worked up on these satellites and stuff.
Right.
And so they had to keep a good check on him so that hopefully he didn't fall out of one.
Right.
But now, as far as we know, his daughter doesn't have it. But his came in more around, no, they said that if it hit, that it would be more around 35 years old. So,
Okay.
you know, I know that's not the same for everybody.
Right. Well, that's my dad's cousin. He was diagnosed with the CMT probably 8 years ago, and he's in his 50s, maybe 60s. But all the way through his life, you know, he had no symptoms of it, so they didn't do any kind of testing. And then all of a sudden, you know, he started having all these medical problems, and they get to looking at everything, and well, that's a symptom, and that's a symptom, and well, let's do that test. And sure enough, he was diagnosed.
Yeah, that, if it's the same thing, it comes through the Indian blood side.
Okay, it's definitely something I will look into.
Okay. All right, and now let's talk a little bit about Shelby. She's 14.
Yes. Shelby is, she's fun. She's my mini me. When I was pregnant with her, they told us that she would definitely be different than my boys. We found out that she had a cyst inside of her right kidney. So they sent us for more genetic testing and more ultrasounds to check, you know, on it and all, and see what we needed to do about it. And just in the month's time between the first two ultrasounds, we had one cyst the first ultrasound. The second ultrasound, we had, if I'm not mistaken, it was 5. So they were multiplying inside of her right kidney, and the doctors told us that they had actually none of them had seen cysts on the inside of a kidney. So at that point, because she was growing and she was thriving, they advised, let's just carry her to however far we can. If anything changes with her health-wise, we can, discuss further options. We were very, very fortunate, and she done great most of the pregnancy. At the end of the pregnancy, they decided that we needed to go ahead and induce labor. She had quit growing, but we were expecting a very small, fragile, I guess, premature baby. This little girl was over 5 pounds, and aside from her kidney, she seemed perfectly healthy. We went through a few years of going back and forth to Atlanta for the testing and the ultrasounds and all kinds of different medical procedures. They told us at one point, I believe she was 2, that her right kidney had no function at all. It had never had function. And then by the time she was 4, her kidney had started shrinking. The doctor told me that her right kidney was probably the size of his thumb. And then around about a year after that, we went in for another ultrasound and imaging, and they told us that she had no right kidney. It was gone. It had apparently deteriorated itself. There were no cysts inside of her that they could find. So we have no idea what happened or what caused it. She lives a normal life. She eats what she wants, drinks what she wants. And she was diagnosed with asthma. She stayed real bad sick with pneumonia and bronchitis a lot when she was little. But in the past couple of years, even that's kind of died down. She's not as sickly as she used to be. She is just as active and normal as the next. You would not know that there was anything wrong with this child unless she tells you.
When I was younger, I had a few years that I went through problems with asthma, bronchitis. I call it bronchial asthma.
Yes.
It's like every 2 or 3 months to the doctor. It's constant. But then it seemed like all of a sudden it's gone. I haven't had to go back to the doctor with it in a long time.
The last time she had a real bad cold, Shelby had, we thought was just a normal common cold, and we treated it with, the over-the-counter stuff for the cough and this, that, the other, but she had not got, her breathing wasn't off. So we didn't treat the asthma part. And one Saturday morning, or Friday night, she had told me that she says, Mom, I just feel like heavy in my chest. It just feels heavy. And I asked her, of course, are you having trouble breathing? No, I can breathe. I feel like I can breathe. Saturday morning, she woke me up and she says, Mama, I really think I need to go to a doctor. I just don't feel right. The heavy feeling is worse. And I feel like I'm just squeezed. So I took her to the emergency room, and we were there the entire day. They run all kind of imaging testing and checked her lungs, and they told me that she had, oh God, I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, ascibated, or
Astrobated.
I believe that's, she had ended up, I guess, either swallowing something.
Aspirator.
Yes, aspirating. That's it. Yay.
I know that word too well.
She was pitiful. It was awful. They give her steroids and they give her something else, and then they give her breathing treatments. And like I said, we were there all day. So when we were finally discharged, on the way home, she says, "You got to stop the car. You got to stop the car." So I pull over on the side of the road. She opens the door and just vomits everywhere. Closes the door and says, "Okay, I'm good." That was nasty. I get her home, I get her a cool rag, and she says, "Mama, I'm okay now." "Look, girl, you just like had a rough day, you're not okay." And she's like, "I think I just got it all out."
Wow.
And
Okay.
from then, I mean, she's had a couple of small colds, but, I mean, even the COVID-19, she had COVID. Normally, when she gets sick, it goes from being a common cold or just something small to being bronchitis and pneumonia, and she's sick as crap at home for a few days. When we had COVID, she said, "Mom, I just feel like I have one of those little colds. I feel like my lungs are full, but not so much that I can't breathe." She told me, she said, "I'm just gonna lay in bed, but I'll keep my pillows up so I'm elevated, but I really don't feel real sick." So she's
Good.
her
Well, there's
medical
some
stuff
people
is
that-
great.
That's
Okay. So with Shelby, will she be on or already on a kidney transplant list?
It basically, as long as her body is thriving and everything works properly, she will not have to. But if she ever has a problem with her left kidney, then they will take additional steps, and they just always told me we'll discuss it if the time ever arises. So as we know right now, her left kidney functions perfectly. Like I said, she eats what she wants, drinks what she wants. I tell her teachers, that she's only got the one. So if she asks to go to the restroom, as long as she's not using it as a get out of class free card, then, to kind of help me out so that we can make sure her kidney does stay working properly. And they seem to help me with it as much as they can. So she should be good.
Now, let's go back to Donnie, and I want to talk a little bit about ODD. What is actually that?
Oppositional defiance disorder. Basically, he has a problem with authority figures. Yes. And it's one of those new things that they have decided was a disorder. For me, and I know a lot of people are probably going to disagree, but for me, I figure that's more of the, I don't want to do what you want me to do, so I'm going to be a spoiled brat and show my tail. But they give it a name, and basically it's just a lot of, he's had a lot of built up anger from, just, he's had a rough patch. He says, "I need to go to the hardware store and get some tools." And I said, "Well, if we're going to do stuff like that, then we've got to go to Hobby Lobby because I haven't been in forever." And he's like, "Okay." We go to Hobby Lobby and I get a few things and we get up to the register and she gives me my price, and then I'm grabbing the bags and he's like, "Hey, the woman, I thought you were going to pay her for me because that's where my money is in your pocket." We go to the store and get a bunch of junk and bring him back.
I think we went through all of this when we were talking. Are the meds working for him?
Let's see.
Johnny has actually decided that he wanted to come off of medicine again. And he has been off of medicine for about 7 months. He still has rough days, but we've learned the warning signs of those days. So when I notice one of them signs, I kind of tell the other kids,
Yeah.
all right guys, Donnie's having one of them days, so let's just kind of try not to bother him too much. And Ray and Shelby will sometimes it's almost like they are purposely avoiding him at all cost. And then other times they will, if they have to approach him or if they're in the same room with him, they kind of are real meek and shy and soft spoken. And I tell them, we ain't gotta go to that extreme, but thanks. And Donnie, I think he finally started noticing it, and he says, I'm not that bad. Well, no, you're not. When all of us realize you're having one of them days and we don't trigger you, you're not that bad. We can all deal with you. Ray has never been on medication. Eventually, they'll probably put him on things like muscle relaxers and pain medicine and things like gabapentin. But as of right now, he'll take some over-the-counter Tylenol or Aleve if he starts hurting real bad or something. And Shelby, she's only got the inhaler and the nebulizer for as needed medications, but she, as of right now, with her left kidney functioning so well, they don't see a need to do medications, so.
Okay, it's a long, hard road to see your kids being sick and everything, but just remember that doctors are not always right.
Oh, no.
Jimmy's doctor said she wouldn't live past 6 years, and now she's 30.
Wow.
So, doctors,
Yeah.
they just go by past experience. They don't know everything.
Right.
And sometimes a child or a person, whoever, will just
Yeah, my dog.
don't know.
Right.
They study it, and they'll tell you what they've learned from their studies.
My
but
husband
your child may
says-
be different.
He says it is called a doctor practice because they are practicing on you.
Mm-hmm.
They have no idea the end result. They are practicing. They're giving it their best shot. But it's, I'm
We'll see.
a firm believer in more or less just researching and learning what works best per child. Because even I have the CMT. Ray has the CMT. My nephew has it. My sister has it. My dad has it. But out of all 5 of us, each one of us are affected differently by it. Each one of us have different pain levels. My sister she's been ordered the AFO leg braces. She's been ordered custom inserts for her shoes. She has been on pain medicine, nerve medicine, and muscle relaxers for, I know, at least 8 years. I don't take any medication whatsoever. I do not have braces or the inserts. I hurt on a daily basis, but I don't treat it the way she treats it. My nephew, he's already had surgery on his feet and ankles, and possibly may have to have another one soon. So we've learned through the years that it's individually, no matter what the medical diagnosis is, you research it and you do what works best for that one person. And that's how we've gotten by.
I can't remember what they call these doctors, but there's doctors that do like plant. They use plants and stuff. The original, what God gave us
Right.
to treat illnesses. Now, have
Right.
you ever thought about doing anything like that?
I have.
Herbalist,
A what?
herbalist.
Yeah, herbalist.
I have considered it, and we have actually gone to like herbal shops and such and purchased stuff through them for my pain and things that I deal with as far medically, because I don't go to doctors. I've had bad experiences with some, so
Yeah.
I choose not to go through all that. My kids, I take what the doctor says with a grain of salt. Like I said, I do all the research. I have offered them different supplements and such that I have researched and found may help. And they've tried a few different things, and ultimately it comes down to my kids are like me and they don't remember to take something every day. So if the need arises, that is definitely something that we have already decided that would be a choice, an option for us. We would, because we're not against trying anything. We will try it all to find what works best.
I mean, I know that all medications that doctors put you on are actually not really good for you, even
Right.
though they may take care of the problem that you have.
It helps with this problem, but it causes
Makes it
these
stubborn.
problems.
Because we take metformin, okay? Metformin has a part to it that can cause really bad things to happen to you. I had one of my friends that I went to high school with, her husband passed away from using metformin.
Oh wow.
But, you know, it's either you take it or, you know, you may go ahead and die anyway.
Right. It's one of those chance
So-
you have to take to.
It would probably be to our best interest to try to go to a herbalist. But metformin has a bad name for it. Has a bad rap. Okay, I want to thank you for the time out to discuss your children, and have a great day.
Thank you.